Yeah, that's how long ago that first movie was. Adrian Grenier still existed. Remember Entourage? No, you fucking don't. Shut up. So, confession time. As an extremely dull 45-year-old heterosexual single man, I don't think I've actually, watched the original Devil Wears Prada all the way through. More than, twice, maybe, since 2006 or so. In the intervening, oh my God, 20 years, the main thing that I remembered being notable about it, outside of Meryl Streep's big, showy, mean boss lady character, was that it was one of the first times I really clocked a major, oh, so this generation is different about this vibe when it came to workplace comedies and millennials versus Gen Xers. You see, in the 90s, the version of this genre, I guess it wasn't just the comedies either, had been defined by this whole vibe where having a job and an office for the man with health insurance and job security or a chance at upward mobility into the professional class was selling out, typified by Office Space or Fight Club or even The Matrix, if you ignore that one is actually a metaphor for something completely different entirely, where doing anything for a living that also had an HR department was just gonna suck your soul out, man, unless you quit, burn it all down, and join a revolutionary guerrilla terrorism army or just do construction or whatever. Yeah. Hard to believe my generation grew up to suck so much. Anyway, this was a movie that was or felt like one of the first big ones that kind of went aggressively hard in the other direction. It was about Anne Hathaway as this go-getter, wannabe young journalist type who wanted to do real journalism and fight the power, but she got this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work at a snobby fashion magazine called Runway for Streep's Miranda Priestley, who was this famously difficult and tyrannical but also famously effective boss, and the whole scenario is that Hathaway's character started out thinking that high fashion and really the whole world of that magazine itself was wasteful and frivolous and kind of really beneath her, but she also comes to understand that a lot of work actually goes into this, that the people who work there and in the adjacent world put a lot into and care as much about what they do as she does into the supposedly more important things she's passionate about, which is mirrored by how she comes to feel empathy for her very difficult to empathize with boss, who probably had to become that way, in part because of how difficult it was to get where she is as a woman in business in the first place. And even though she does ultimately continue on with the implication of her goal being to do the kind of work she really wanted to do, it's also with the implicit lesson that she and we also get that this experience has improved her, and that the earlier "this is beneath me" version of herself and her similarly kind of shitty friends and her very shitty boyfriend, Sir, not appearing in this film, were all kind of being dinks about it.
Message!
It's not really what the movie is about, but looking back, it was kind of an early indicator vibe shift for how the then incoming generation of post-collegiate 20-somethings were going to have a much more positivist outlook on white-collar urban professional aspirationalism in what we were still 2 years away from being able to refer to as the Obama era.
Oh, I made myself sad.
But basically, yeah, the first one is a prime specimen early 2000s millennial wish fulfillment power fantasy about how being the best, hardest worker at a demanding but also glamorous and power-adjacent starter job in the professional managerial class can be your springboard to the fulfilling career you want, because compromises are for people with low GPAs who can't hold their caffeine. And now fast forward 20 years and this sequel is effectively a new for the 2020s millennial wish fulfillment power fantasy, getting back the job you loved from 2006, and also everyone back home says they love you and that you're the best and they need you to do all the things you maybe could have done different before to put the world right again.
Get in the car, Stan. Your mom and I are moving back in together.
What?
We worked it out, pal. Surprise!
No, Dad, no, please.
No, really, that's what we're going with this time. Hathaway's Andy did in fact become a successful prize-winning issues journalist, but with all forms of journalism under corporate siege in the 2020s, she and her whole team have found themselves laid off. Fortuitously, Runway magazine is also reeling from a recent public relations scandal, compelling its publisher to hire Andy as a new features editor to bolster their "we care about stuff" actually credentials, bringing her back into the office and into orbit with Miranda, Stanley Tucci's Nigel, and assorted new and old friends. Obviously, the main non-fashion-related question anyone could ask about doing a 2026 sequel to The Devil Wears Prada is exactly what you do about Miranda Priestly as a character in 2026. The original movie is, after all, when you break it down, basically a female-coded fashion world version of the hard-ass mentor, coaching, training, bootcamp storyline, where a student comes to understand that the borderline or even over-the-line abusive teacher was maybe exactly what they needed to achieve their true potential, and even comes to understand the devil as a human being, however flawed in themselves. Or, if you're making a less charitable read, it's a movie about how it's mostly okay if your boss is a literal monster, if you feel like you got something out of the experience, and also if she rocks a timeless fit while doing it, and plus, hey, society probably pushed her some of the way there, right? Basically, how is Miranda Priestly still even working, given all of the things of the last 20 years, and since she is she different? If so, how? What does it say? And part 2's answer to that is, she got better at some point. Yeah, that's literally it. The scandal Andy is here to fix emphatically isn't about Miranda. She's a victim of the scandal. She got conned, basically. She has a new assistant played by Simone Ashley, who it's implied is mainly occupied with telling her when she can't say various things, although the things don't seem that unsayable. She has a new relationship with a guy played by Kenneth Branagh. We observe from the sidelines that she does more things for herself now, but otherwise, she's different now. No particular reason, but hey, isn't that good? Because it makes her much less difficult to enjoy, right? Because the real nominal gimmick to things this time is that Andy and Miranda are meant to be sort of on the same side against common enemies in the form of tech company bros who are all at once devourer-destroyers of print media, journalism, and also have no appreciation for art and style. Andy wants to help save Runway with the promise that she can reshape its features department into a safe landing pad for other abandoned refugee journalists like herself, while Miranda is angling for a long-sought elevation into the upper echelons of the global publishing company that owns the magazine. Both of their goals are imperiled by hovering young and pointedly male tech oligarchs who'd sooner snatch up the whole thing and crunch it down into some kind of content farm. I hate when that happens. Which is an interesting solution that sort of works to getting around there being not really much devil in Devil 2, because this is above all else a 20 years later nostalgia hangout movie for fans more so than an actual sequel meant to advance a plot that already finished developing these characters and fully exploring their world the first time. Miranda is good now for the same reason that Andy's life goal is simultaneously save Runway, save real journalism. Now it's the same thing. Because we're not here to see the characters go through a story and change, we're here to spend time with them and enjoy them. The fans are here to see their favorite people, get some extremely minor, hey, maybe this person could get a better ending this time, uplift and ease into a cozy, maybe middle age will be okay, after all vibe, where you not only can go home again, but going home isn't just a victory lap, it's the ultimate conquest in itself. Oh, and, to look at the designs.
Wait a second, you're not into this.
Shh! She's trying on dresses.
Which is why it feels almost unsporting to point out that the stakes feel kind of unstaky and the plot kind of meanders now that they've decided the devil can't really be the antagonist this time around. It kind of goes for some who is double-crossing who business world stuff for Act 3 like the first one had, but I think more people than they're guessing are still going to clock a not playing themselves cameo role early on and go, oh, well, that seems like a conspicuously well-known and maybe expensive guest actor, so I think I can guess how a lot of major complications will resolve later. The late incoming almost tension is, I guess, welcome as an attempt at feeling like they're trying to not just be a greatest hits of the first one, but this is still the same basic songbook. We already saw Andy have an internal moral conflict about her future, learn and now relearn that Miranda has hidden depths of vulnerability but also can't be underestimated, get a charge of vindication by having people trust her decisions, but were they really hers? It's kind of the first movie again. The one new story thread is a potential overhanging C-plot where Andy might be able to secure a life-changing book deal if she writes a tell-all about her time working for the infamously difficult Priestly, but even if you can't immediately guess how that will pay off or not pay off, what is she even going to write about? We've already established that the scary version of Miranda was 20 years ago. They haven't seen each other in between, and now she doesn't do anything particularly mean to anybody. What even would that book be? On the other hand, there's nothing super wrong with an inconsequential nostalgia sequel that doesn't even aim or in length or gravity for any level of pretense beyond being what it is, and I imagine for anyone who really, really loves the original, this delivers about the level of a little bit more of that again, please, that it aspires to. It would be interesting if it aimed for something more or radically different, but I think it's reasonable to say 7 out of 10. Sure, have fun with this if it's your thing.